If a work permit holder inside Canada is issued a work permit that has a specific work location written onto the face of that work permit, can that work permit holder, upon arriving in Canada, decide to work from another work location inside Canada other than that which was stipulated on the work permit? The answer is yes. However, before doing so, that worker may first need to apply for a change of location request. Welcome back. My name is Donovan Francis. I'm a Canadian immigration lawyer at GOOSELAW Immigration, where we help businesses with their employees' work permit applications and save them from all of the legal hassle. In this video, I want to talk specifically about the requirement to include a work location when applying for a work permit under what's known as the International Mobility Program. Now, generally speaking, when an employer in Canada wants to support a work permit of a foreign national, that employer needs to submit what's called an offer of employment through the government's employer portal. And this is where the employer is not going the route of a labor market impact assessment, but rather the employer is going through one of the exemptions that requires that employer to submit an offer of employment, okay? So this video is specific to work permit holders whose work permit was originally supported by an employer who had to submit an offer of employment. So where that employer has to submit an offer of employment, included in that offer of employment is a requirement that the employer indicate the work location or work locations inside Canada that employee is going to be working from. Okay, so obviously the employer has the option of suggesting multiple locations, multiple work locations inside Canada. You know, the employer may have client sites that they want the employee to visit and to work from physically from time to time. So the employer may want to indicate that on the work permit. But ultimately, it's important. It's a requirement that the employer indicates the location in Canada where this employee is going to be working from. And it's important from an immigration point of view because the salary that this employee is to be paid will be dictated by the physical location in Canada that they're going to be working from. The government has set what's known as a median wage, right? A median prevailing wage that all foreign nationals working in certain roles must be paid at. And this wage varies depending on the physical location in Canada where you're going to be working from. You know, so somebody working in Saskatoon as an architect, you know, as a technical architect, will likely be paid a different salary from somebody working in Burnaby, BC as a technical architect. Okay, so your physical work location will dictate what the salary is going to be. And therefore, that's important. The other thing is that when the work permit is issued, the immigration authorities are likely going to write onto the face of the work permit the specified work locations inside Canada. And what it means, therefore, is that if this worker decides to go work at another location that is not specified on the face of the work permit, then that worker would be in breach of that particular condition, because one condition under which they're allowed to work in Canada on that work permit would be that they're going to be working from the work locations stipulated on the face of the work permit. And so a worker wanting to work elsewhere will first need to apply for a change of location, you know, have the employer submit a new offer of employment seeking authorization for this employee to work somewhere else in Canada. Failure to do so will result in a breach of the conditions and therefore, and ultimately a breach of the immigration regulations. Now, there are certain situations where an employer can request that instead of having a single work location written onto the face of the work permit, that they can request that the immigration authorities make a notation instead that states authorized to work from multiple locations across Canada. All right, so that's a request that an employer can make, but that's going to be up to the discretion of the immigration authorities whether or not to grant that. And the idea here is where an employer has a job that will require this foreign worker to, be visiting multiple locations across Canada and so on, rather than trying to think of every single location this person may have to visit and writing that down on the work permit, the employers instead, opt to make a request for multiple locations across Canada. And I mean, it's an argument that can be made successfully if you're able to convince the immigration authorities that that's a necessary requirement. And under those kinds of circumstances, the employer will have to be prepared to pay the employee at whatever the highest median prevailing wage is of all the work locations they're going to be. Right? So remember, the wage varies from location to location. So if the employee is going to multiple locations, then the location with the highest median prevailing wage, that will be the wage that the employer will have to include in their offer of employment. Okay? So I trust you found value from this. As always, remember to like our videos so that others will see more videos like this. Subscribe to our channel so that you'll be notified the next time we publish a video. And check us out on go.gooselaw.com. Thanks. See you again.